Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you all to the introductory session on MRI machine coordinated by second group of Biomed 360 campaign. Biomed 360 is in a nutshell. The ultimate goal of Biomed 360 is to get a virtual learning experience to comprehend the functioning of medical devices. This campaign focuses on bringing together all the students from the biomedical sector. This campaign is a joint initiative by IEEE EMBS young professionals, IEEE student volunteers, and biomedical engineering students with the main aim of building the biomedical society. Here, the biomedical students and graduates collaborate with the biomedical professionals from various sectors and work on gathering data and information on medical equipment. Thus, reaching out to the common people could be an eye-opener to the biomedical society on building every student's knowledge regarding the versatile range of devices. This campaign shall bring out a resourceful detail on every medical equipment which not only aims at authentic information but also focuses on learning and teamwork. Today we have with us Mr. Ranjit, member of Group 2, Service Engineer at Wipro GE Healthcare Private Limited. Ranjit sir is graduate in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Government Engineering College, Thrissur, with an experience in the field of MRI servicing in India and out of the country. For about 8 years, he is a great mentor for the Group 2. With utmost privilege, I welcome you, sir, to the introductory session. Without much delay, let's move on to the session. We have been having very close contact with Mr. Ranjit, who was always supporting us in every stage of the campaign from the very start. Sir, it would be great to know more about yourself before we go into the details of the campaign. Let's get to know more about Ranjit sir and his experience in the field. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Myself, Ranjit, and as introduced, I graduated in Electrical and Electronics from Government Engineering College, Thrissur. And immediately after graduation, I joined in a channel partner of GE as a CT service engineer in 2012. And then in 2013, I joined in GE, Wipro GE Healthcare as MRI engineer. Then till almost 7 to 8 years working in Wipro GE Healthcare. In between, I moved to Qatar for 2 years. And mainly I deal with MRI and CT scan. My primary modality handling is MRI. And I married to Dini and have a daughter of 2.5 years old. That's about me. So.
All right, sir. Great to know about you. Getting to know about MRI was never an easy job for Group 2. Same was with you too, I guess, making us understand even the basic principle of physics and thus MRI machine. Hats off to your entrance. Next, I would like to ask you to please say an outline on MRI machine.
Yeah, MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging. Actually, it was nuclear magnetic resonance, NMRI. It is nuclear magnetic resonance imaging. That means resonance at the presence of an external magnetic field at nuclear level. That's the meaning. And that technique that resonance is used for imaging. MRI is a non-invasive technique that produces 3D images by the use of an high magnetic field and RF. So MRI machine basically consists of a magnet, gradient coil, RF coil, and equipments used to receive the RF. Also, it's one table and operator console to view the images. So, how MRI works? So before starting, we will just discuss some few few basic things about the about some general physics. So if we place a magnetic field to nucleuses in our body, some not all, some nucleuses precess in a frequency. All nucleuses precess in its own axis, so it will precess in a certain frequency. That is given by Larmor called Larmor frequency, and there is an equation to find it. That's Larmor frequency is equal to omega is equal to gamma B. B is the main magnetic field, and that gamma is the gyromagnetic ratio. So in MRI we uses hydrogen atoms. Why we use? Because it's only having a net magnetic moment, and it is abundant in fat and water. So our body mostly consists of water and fat. So that's why we selected hydrogen, and it's having a net magnetic moment. Then another thing is resonance. What is resonance? Resonance is just a symbol. If you say just when two frequencies are becoming equal. So one system is having a frequency F1 and another system is having a frequency F2. When this matches, when it is same, that's a process. It's simply the frequencies of these different systems is same. That's it's becoming equal. That's a resonance. So in electrical, if you see an inductor and a capacitor, if their frequencies are equal, their impedance will cancel each other. That's electrical resonance. So so now we'll start with MR. MR, what will happen when we these hydrogen atoms precess in its own axis? When we place a high magnetic field, this will align either parallel or anti-parallel. So we will get a net magnetic field from our body. So the net magnetic field is the sum of parallel and anti-parallel. Mostly the hydrogen atoms will align parallel, and so will have a net magnetic field in the direction of applied magnetic field. So from that, how we can get an image? So we applied a magnetic field. We got a magnetic field from our body also, but we have to get in image. So from this magnetic field, we cannot make an image. So what we will do? Because it's a net sum of all the magnetic field throughout your body. So you don't know which signal, which magnetic field comes from which part. So we cannot make an image, although we have a signal. So what we will do? We will apply an external RF to the body, RF signal. Then RF signal will shift the net magnetic field produced by the body to 90 degree or 180 degree. It depends upon the RF signal. If you apply a 90 degree RF signal, it will turn 90 degree. If you apply 180 degree RF pulse, it will turn 180 degree. So once you apply RF, it will tilt to a different angle. So from there, we will release the RF. Then these molecules will come to, protons will come to the equilibrium position, that is parallel to the applied magnetic. In order to come to the equilibrium position, these protons will emit RF. So, and each molecules are emitting at a different pace. That's noted by relaxation time. So fat is having a different relaxation time. Also, our water is having a different relaxation. All other tissues have different relaxation time according to their chemical composition. Some tissues will be easily able to release the RF by by transmitting the RF energy, but some molecules will face difficulty in emitting the RF because they cannot transfer that RF energy to lattice or nearby atoms or nearby excited protons or molecules. So each tissue will come back to equilibrium position at a different time. So we can understand from this point we can identify the property of the area we are scanning. So in order to get a clear position we need in a volume we need three points mathematically, x, y, z. So we know in order to clearly identify the position, we should know the location of x, y, z. So to get it, we will use gradient amplifiers, 3 gradient amplifiers. So one minute before going to gradient amplifier, I will discuss where the resonance happened. Initially, we applied a magnetic field. Then the hydrogen atoms presses in Larmor frequency. If the applied field is 1 Tesla, the Larmor frequency is 42.58 megahertz. If it is 1.5 Tesla, it is 63.8, and if it is 3 Tesla MRI, it is 127 point something. So it will double. So these hydrogen atoms are processing at this frequency. Frequency is like a speed. So in order to transfer the RF energy, whatever the RF you are applying should also have a frequency of this one. That's where the resonance happens. So you are applying, you wanted to transfer your RF energy to hydrogen atom. So you have to apply a RF of same frequency the proton process. So you have to, if it is a 1 Tesla system, you have to apply RF of 42.58 megahertz. Then only it can absorb that energy. That's we simply we can tell if you wanted to give a packet to your friend. He is moving in a car at a speed of 60 km per hour. You also have to for the maximum efficient transfer, you also should move at a speed of 60 km per hour. So the relative speed will be 0. It's like that. So you applied an RF of same frequency that hydrogen presses, and this once you release the RF, the same frequency will be transmitted to the radiated by the body to the space. So that we will receive with an RF antenna. RF antenna is basically we place over the area of interest. If it is head scan, we will place a coil and place the patient inside that coil. If it is abdomen, we will use different coil. So all these coils accept RF in the frequency range of that machine. If it is 1.5 Tesla, 63.83. If it is 3 Tesla, 127. That range only they will accept. It is like a band pass filter. It will reject all other frequencies, because we don't want unwanted frequencies to be processed. We want only the frequencies that coming from our body. All other frequencies will be filtered in the coil. So now we have a signal in the coil. We should know where it comes from actually. That's the gradient coil. Gradient coils are we have 3 axes, X, Y, Z. So gradient coils it's all electrically activated coils. So when you give a current, a magnetic field will be positive. When you release the current, there is no magnetic field, like that. So X, Y, Z, if you are taking a want an image of 128 into 128 pixel, so these gradients will disturb the magnetic field in X, Y, Z direction, so that your point of interest remain at 63.83. All other points will be disturbed and the hydrogen will be processing at a different frequency. So what will happen? These coils will receive only frequencies at 63.83 megahertz. So you will get only the interested point data only. So that we will plot to a imaginary space called K space, but it's okay. We can plot into a 128 into 128 pixel. So first pixel you selected 1 1. So you are filling the 1 1 location in the bore in the patient body will be at 1 Tesla or 1.5 Tesla. It depends on the machine. Suppose we will general machines are generally most of the machines are 1.5 Tesla. So we'll discuss about 1.5. So 1.5 Tesla, which will achieve the point of interest, and the hydrogen atoms will precess at 63.83 megahertz, and your coil will receive the same frequency, and the nearby volumes, voxels, pixels or voxels, will be processing at different frequency that will not be passed through the coil. So you got that first pixel data. Then your gradient will change the position of 1.5 Tesla to next bit 1 2, row 1 column 2. Then again you will acquire. This process will keep on repeating till 128 into 128 times. So in MR you can go till 256 into 256, because more resolution means you will take more time, because to 128 into 128 itself the MR has to collect the data 128 into 128 times. So if you are making 256, the acquisition time will increase. In MR, the main problem is acquisition time. It takes a lot of time to scan because of this process, because we cannot turn on gradients on and off so fast. We have limitation, and if we turn off also, there will be a little bit magnetism. So that we have to we cannot switch on the electronics and all continuously. That's a limitation. So the speed also will be, acquiring speed is limited according to the hardware limitations. How many times you can turn on and off in a second, it depends on that hardware limitations. As you know, the transistors, FETs, everything is having an after glow. Even if you remove the power, it will work for it will take some time to completely off. So that design consideration need to be met. So you will get an image data, actual raw data. It will be processed by a server or PC, and it will be displayed to the console. And that's a general outline.
Okay, thank you, sir. That is a great information from
your end. You can ask.
No, sir. That is a great explanation. Shall we move on to the next question, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, as you have told us, this campaign and working with the student volunteers of IEEE was a new exposure to you. So, please share your experience and view about the Biomet 360 campaign.
Yeah. For me, it's a good opportunity, and thanks for giving the opportunity to the entire Biomet 360 team, and also I thank my company for approving to be a member of Biomet 360. Biomet 360 actually is very helpful to people who are eager to know about the machines before they wanted to get a scan, because most of the people are scary or they have many anxieties that will make the diagnostics more complex. Also, biomedical students or those who are in this field can have or should not may not have all the knowledge about all systems. So I am working in MRI, I know about MRI, but if you ask more about other system, I don't know. So if this kind of platform helps all the people to get an idea in a nutshell and in a simple manner, so the common man also can understand, or in deep the people, students or technical technical people also can understand. So it's a good initiative.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your support also. So moving on to the next question. MRI is seen to be the largest machine in a hospital. So what is your first suggestion or advice to someone who is afraid to take MRI?
Okay, so suppose somebody is afraid, so we should discuss why. We should know the root cause basically for everything. Even if it is the service, if somebody is afraid, we should discuss with him why he is afraid. Then only we can solve it. If he says he can't, somebody told it's very difficult, what they told. So we have to correct. Somebody may tell it's very noisy, you cannot, it's very vibrating, and it's 6 feet, more than 6 feet long. It's like you are through the table, you are going inside like a pipe, and it's having a diameter of 60 or 70 centimeters. So you will feel very difficult in MR. Also, you will not only that, you will have a coil. If it is especially head, you will have a coil throughout. It's in circular shape in your head. So with this, if you move inside an MRI, a common man will get will be having anxiety. What will happen? What something will happen to him? So we should get, if it is that, we should clear that nothing will happen. In some sites, what the technicians are doing, if somebody is too scary, what they will do, okay, we will do take you the next scan. You can observe what is happening to the current patient. If we half an hour he will come out, nothing is happening. So you have to just lie down in MR without moving. So we have to get the root cause and give the explanation. MRI is safe, nothing will happen to people, and if you are feeling discomfort, you can let the technician know you are having some issue, because there are mechanisms in MR to press. So what it will give an alarm in the console.
Okay, sir. So moving on to the next question. The question is, according to you, why should people follow Biomed 360 BME, which is our Instagram page? How effective do you think is our campaign in this era? And in a common man's perspective, what do you think or how effective it is?
See, we just explained how if we or me or anybody, those we don't know about an equipment, comes for scanning, or I'm just talking about common people, comes for any without any information, they will be anxious, they will be scary, and it will ultimately affect the scan. If the platforms like Biomed 360 giving an idea, what suppose we like take the example of MRI, what are the safety precautions you have to take, how it will be, and how much time it will take, what are the facilities available, all the things. If the common man is able to understand this is like this, obviously he will not be scary, he will not be anxious. So it will help the diagnostic, it will help himself and the people who scans. That is one thing, and that's about common people. Why about biomedical people? They can understand the, if you read the book, it's very difficult if we, because we already passed through it, and MRI physics is a complex, and there are many, not only MRI, other, because when you go through the books, it's difficult. Mostly people prefer videos and other simple explanations than more physics. So in that sense, it will help the people working in this firm and students, etc. So those who are eager to know, so people will obviously follow.
Okay, so as Sir said, we should all be knowing at least a layman's perspective before going into any of the scanning or before letting ourselves into any of the devices. Thank you, sir, for that information. So next, we'll move on to the question. Like, is there any disadvantage for kids taking an MRI?
There are no harm or disadvantage for kids because of doing an FRI, but doing an MRI, nothing will happen to the kids or adults also, nothing will happen. But the problem is scanning kids is difficult because they will be obviously, they will be anxious, they will have fear, and they will be always moving. That's what we are seeing. They will be always moving, and we will not get an image once the patient moves. That's the only issue with the scanning, but there is no disadvantage so far and nothing reported. Even if it's for pregnant ladies, they are avoiding till 3 months because there are no non cases reported that something happened, but the RF may cause some heating to the fetus, so we are just avoiding it, even though there is no issues reported in global level.
Okay, sir. So next question is, can you share more about your field of work in GE Healthcare and its scope?
Yeah, I am service engineer, and our systems are installed at different places, especially in this is a big system. We have to go to site, we have to install it, we have to calibrate it, we have to do service activities, we have to do maintenance activities. So we have to troubleshoot if in case of an issue. As it is a complex system, the troubleshooting also sometimes take more time. And you also should know, you should have to continuously read the manual. Every product, all the products are different. Maybe it's based on platforms. One platform may be different from other one. Many changes will be there. So you have to be updated with the latest technologies and all. Basically, it's a field service. You have to go to site, you have to interact with customer, you have to solve the issue after troubleshooting, and MRI is a bit complex system for troubleshooting also.
Okay, sir. So that was our last question, and here comes the end of the introductory session of MRI machine in our campaign. So hope it was helpful to all the listeners out here. I, on behalf of Ms. J.B. Krishna, who has introduced Ranjit sir to us, and all other members of Biomed 360, wholeheartedly thank Ranjit sir for his valuable time. So it was a great time talking to you as always. So this is Ajina from Group 2 signing off. Stay tuned for more videos on MRI machine. Thanks for watching.